You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Go. Hi guys. Welcome back to another episode of Sitting Down with the Sisters. We are your hosts. I'm Temi.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Ayor.
Right, lovely stuff. Right, disclaimer before we start. We want to thank everyone that's been supporting us. Honestly, we appreciate all your support. You know, we say this, well, I don't know if we say in every single video, but we mean it from the bottom of our heart. Yeah. We thank you so much for those that have been supporting, subscribing. If you haven't been, this is your chance. Please go ahead and do so, because we bring you all the content you need. Or even on TikTok. Yeah. Who wants to introduce our video for today?
Okay. Go on. You do it, babes.
Right. So the reason I wanted to introduce it is just because I'm quite passionate about this topic in the light of a lot of recent happenings. If you're familiar with us as a channel or just as a collective, you'll know that before we started our podcast, we had a video that did pretty well on my personal YouTube channel called Pretty Privilege. It's still on YouTube if you want to watch it. And I just thought it would be good to speak on it now as we're more wise, we're more mature, we've gone through more of life, we understand things better, we can probably articulate our thoughts and feelings a lot better about the topic. So I thought, why not discuss pretty privilege and how it affects us and how it affects how other people are treated on social media.
Right.
So what would you guys define as pretty privilege, first of all, and do you think it exists?
It definitely exists.
Yeah, for sure. I think anyone that says it doesn't exist, you're in denial. It definitely exists. How I would define pretty privilege, I would define it as how do you define it in this day and age? Because I feel like from our last video, I feel like it's definitely evolved. And it's
the definition.
Yeah.
But what year was that? I think that was 2016 or 17. We made that video.
Was it that long ago?
We were still in uni.
Yeah. I know.
Crazy.
It was 16 or 17.
Let me think about my answer. You two, yeah.
Do you know what? I would like to think about it, but I'm just going to say what's literally in my head now. I think pretty privilege is basically in the name. Pretty privilege. It's just having privilege because you look pretty a certain way, because of your physical aspects, not necessarily your face, but maybe you have certain physical traits that someone finds attractive, and they just give you a certain privilege. It's a certain privilege that comes with your physical looks or aspects,
or when you're given a superior advantage, right, or opportunities
over others
solely based off of your looks, over others. Keyword over others.
And I would just add to their definition as benefiting from just your physical appearance, just being able to benefit.
That's it.
And benefit in a way that might be very different and disproportionate to other people because of how you look.
Yeah, I think that's the key word, because of how you look.
Because of how you look.
Not because of anything else, not because of what you just how you look.
Yes. So girls,
and we said it does exist.
We said it does exist. How do you guys think you benefit from pretty privilege? And we need honesty here. We don't want fake humble, we want real.
Bye.
Thank you.
So when you say benefit from pretty privilege, in what ways?
In any way.
Benefit?
Do you think as a woman that you benefit
or
from
have you ever benefited?
Or have you ever experienced benefiting from pretty privilege?
So my answer would be yes and no.
Okay, explain.
Actually would be yes, because I think I'm comparing like in regards to other stories I hear, but that's not the question. Just for myself, yes. Explain. I think it's just the small things. I think it's like when you go to certain like say if there's a long queue and then like, you know, there's a man who probably finds you attractive. He's like, oh, you can go in front, or like being given discount, or even I would say those are the two main things.
Yeah. That's literally the same as Ashley. Just little things like, I find her pretty. You can go in front of the line. Oh, she's a lady. Just let her, you know. And actually, because it's pretty privilege, what I was gonna ask is, because we're talking about physical aspect. Actually, that's a whole different conversation. I was gonna say, can it be because I'm a woman? But that's a whole. That's different. That's different.
Yeah,
but
that's different.
Solely because they find you attractive, right? Yeah. Like Ashley said, yeah.
For me, I think I would say yes and no. And I think my answer is going to be very similar to what I said in the last I feel like my perception on this is still the same, and I really would need to give this disclaimer, because I know a lot of people are going to hear what I'm saying and think I don't think I'm beautiful and I don't think I'm pretty. That's incorrect, because I do think both of those things. But I think in the grand scheme of life and just the way people view other people, and this is not me comparing myself to them, I'm just saying what is deemed pretty or what is deemed beautiful in society is different for everybody. But there is like a status quo, or there's an image of beauty, there's what's it called, a standard of beauty, especially in different circles. So anyway, the reason I say yes and no is because I've definitely benefited from it in different ways, like people doing certain things for you because you're pretty, or like affording you certain privileges because you're pretty. I think I've probably experienced that as well. But I also say no because, okay, I said this analogy in the last episode, I'm going to say it again, yeah? I personally think there's people that are considered mainstream pretty. So like to most people, that person is considered beautiful. Like if you put them in any room, if you put them anywhere, people would be like, that person is beautiful, that person is pretty. And then there's people that are like, this might sound rude to other people, but I don't think it's rude. I think there's people that are an acquired taste, or people that you might not see their beauty at first, but like some people see it straight away, some people don't. And so I think I fit into the second category, not because I think I'm not beautiful. I need you guys to hear me again, because I'm not saying that. But I just think, so the way I experience pretty privilege is different. Right. That's what I would say.
Okay. What do you guys think, just to not move on from that, it's still within the same bracket, but what do you guys think about, I don't want to say men, but let me just use men in this context. What do you guys think about men that are only nice to people that they find attractive?
I think that is one of the wackest things you could ever do.
Because lame. I've seen it pop up a few times in discussions, and not to say, I don't want to sound naive and say I didn't know it existed, but I think the more I hear about it, the more it becomes obvious to me that a lot of people, I'm not going to say men anymore, but a lot of people, naturally, I studied psychology. There's been studies that have been done on it. Like if you find someone attractive, you're naturally going to be nicer to them. 100%. It's just a human trait. But then just because it is a human trait, should it then be the norm? Should it be accepted? Exactly. Should it be just what we do? And should we not, be able to, say when it's not right, or, do you know what I'm trying to say? 100%. So what do you guys think of that?
I think it's wrong. And I think I'm glad that you touched upon that, because we can all be guilty of that. Not in the sense where we see someone that we're not attracted to and we're automatically rude, but whereas like when we do find someone attractive, we'll be that extra bit nicer when it should be the same all across the board. And obviously, I never forget when I don't know if you guys remember, but on social media there was this picture this was like back in like a while ago now, a couple of years back on Twitter, and it was someone had wrote something in their notes, and then they screenshot it and put it on Twitter, and in the notes it basically said, oh, there's this event happening, and they listed like how much it would cost for like certain women to get in, and they put Latina women free,
I remember that actually.
Mixed race women or whatever, free. Black women, there was a charge. There was a fee to get in. And obviously this is a little bit different.
Yeah, because I was going to say it's a bit different.
Yeah, it's a bit different, but I think it falls under the same category in the sense where you only based on your kindness is only extended to a certain group of women that you find attractive.
Yeah, and
that ties in with colorism as well.
Yeah, it ties in with colorism.
And I remember we have touched on this a little bit before in our previous episode. Shout out to the real ones, you'll know which episode I'm talking about. Yeah. But I think it's wrong. I think for you to be driven by aesthetic that much,
it's scary.
That your kindness comes with terms and conditions.
Your kindness is capped.
Yeah, your kindness is conditional essentially, whereas you'll only be kind to someone based off of how they look or whether you deem them attractive. Like, it's wrong. Black period. Like, there's no justification.
That example reminds me of just things that is still happening in this day and age as well. Like certain clubs, I don't want to name names, but I'm sure you probably know some of the clubs that I'm talking about here in London as well. They do the same thing. I've heard multiple stories where, where women have been denied entry, certain type of women. It could be black women, of course, but they have to look a certain way. Like if you don't look a certain way, you will not be allowed entry into the venue. And just a quick story. I remember actually there was a time where I wanted to have like a little club thing with my girls. I was actually going to invite everyone, but it never even came out my mouth because I remember hearing about these stories and it literally traumatized me. So I think to celebrate my masters, whatever, I just wanted to call the girls out, just extend my invite, whoever wants to come out to one of these prestige clubs and get a table or whatever. And some of the things that I heard just put me off completely because I imagine telling your friends to come out with you and they can't get in the venue, or you yourself can't even get in the venue because of how you look or just the aesthetics and them not being pleased by it.
You don't want to put people through that.
So the reason why that ties in is pretty privilege, like
100%,
because they like you, because they think you look good, you can get in. But if they don't like the way you look, you're not getting in.
And it reminds me of school so much. And I saying school, like I also want to make it clear that I think it's very prevalent now. And the way I want to answer the question is like, it's very prevalent, especially on social media, because you'll see, say for instance, somebody go viral for saying something, and
we know about that.
And you'll see how they might react to one person that goes. So say for instance, a certain woman that is deemed desirable to majority of people, that you'll see the way the comments will look. Say a video goes viral, because when a video goes viral, it goes viral at first and the comments are usually nice at first. Then it hits a certain point where the trolls come, and then you see the comments shift,
right?
And so there you can literally use women as like what do you call it, like a litmus test, or like you can find perfect examples of this where, say a woman that is considered pretty and desirable to the majority of people goes viral on the internet, the comments, even when it reaches a certain level of trolling, like they will still have a certain level of decorum. Where if it's now a woman that's not deemed desirable or not deemed pretty to the majority of people, they are so quick, and I've been a victim of it, so I can talk on this. They're so quick to bring up random things that have nothing to do with what you're saying in the video. And it's very scary, I'm not going to lie to you, because you genuinely want to share, maybe say for instance, I have a podcast, you genuinely want to share your thoughts, you genuinely want to share your opinions with the world, and there's a part of you that's worried that, okay, if the video goes to a certain place,
that's going to be people's
it's going to put your self-esteem in jeopardy.
You're not going to care anything about what I've said. You're not going to care nothing. You're just going to be like, oh, you look like that. Oh, what's that? What's going on? Who's that? And that is scary. I'm sorry. Like, it's very scary.
It's very, very scary.
Very, very scary.
And I don't know why it's such it's so normalized. I don't know why it's just a thing that happens and no one's really pointing it out. Like we're not really, we've been desensitized to it, to be honest, because we see it all the time. And it's just like, oh, that's they're just doing this or they're doing that. And
or even if you see how people react to certain people, like say for instance, you see a tweet go viral and then when people are like tweeting it back at them, if the baby's popular and if she's pretty, like people will be nice to her, or like girls,
or they'll turn it to, oh, I'm just joking,
or even girls will be nicer. Let it be, even it happens to men too, let it be a man that is considered like not that desirable, jokes will fly like
and it will keep going.
They won't
for the longest time. It won't even end.
It will never end. And I think it's scary that like I think pretty privilege in of itself is not a bad thing. I actually don't think so, because it's normal. Humans, as you said, according to psychology, they are more likely to be to treat people that they are attracted to a different way and nicely. And if you know that physically, like as a human, that's just a natural way you react to things, that in itself I think is normal. But then when it dictates how you treat people in general, I think that's where the problem lies.
What do you think about, I want to switch it to women now. What do you think about women who are aware of it, they're pretty privileged and use it to their advantage in every way possible? Do you think it's right or wrong?
I don't think it's wrong.
Go on.
I know this might be very controversial.
I'm genuinely, because I feel like this is something I've actually, like, since we started, this is something I wanted to ask. Because I feel like in the past when we have spoken about it, we've always spoken about it from like the outside perspective or from the man's perspective, or how
that's a very good question.
Do it, but we've never spoken about it in regards to, because it's very prevalent, like with stuff like the city girls and
just influencer culture,
culture, like you use that to get
away.
But mainly city girls, but like use what you have to get what you want from a man,
right?
And that in itself is essentially pretty.
Privilege.
100%. That's why it's thriving. That's why they're thriving,
benefiting from how you look.
So what do you guys think about that?
I don't see the reason why I said I don't see a problem with benefiting from how you look is because I'm struggling to think of the opposite argument. Like, I can't see what bad can come from it personally, because we don't choose how we look. Do you know what I mean? Of course, some people go ahead and enhance their features, of course. That's why some people go ahead and enhance their features then, I guess. So then they can then benefit from 100%. How they look. Right, so maybe that can be the downfall of it. But let's talk about those that maybe naturally have the beauty or whatever, because I don't want to go as far and say it's a gift, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can use it to, like, at the end of the day, I don't know, do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what
how
you're
you
saying.
look. There's not much you can do about how you look. So you benefit of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As long as no one's getting hurt, and at the end of the day, you're not begging for people to be attracted to you, it's naturally happening. Go ahead. Why not? Do you know what I'm saying?
My perspective on it is kind of, I feel like you can do whatever the hell you like. At the end of the day, that's how you look. Do you know what I mean?
That's how you look.
And if you're benefiting from it in a way that is not compromising your morals and your ethics, I don't, honestly,
and it's not hurting other people.
You cannot dictate how other people are going to treat you because you're pretty. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that's how they're going to treat you. But I think when you start to exploit it in a way that is exploitative or manipulative, or
that's what my
like, and I think a lot of women are going to that extent.
Your ego is
tied to
just
it.
Tied to
100%. And I think a lot of women are slyly going that way though.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's the downfall. So some people are changing their whole look and their whole perspective of their features, like getting surgery and all these things, fillers, like just so they can benefit off it. At the end of the day, we still stand by doing whatever the hell you want. It's still your body and your face, but then, you know, it's beginning to go down that dangerous slope, which
there's a thin line.
There's a thin line.
100%.
We've got to be careful with those things. We've got to be careful with those things. At the end of the day, I don't want to say it in this way, but at the end of the day, like, if that's what it takes for some people to give you that privilege, if that's all it takes, literally just looks, you might as well benefit of it. It doesn't take a lot, because it's literally just
how you look.
Do you know what I mean? It really doesn't take that much. You just wake up in the morning, you put your makeup on and you go, and people just tend to like it, you know.
What do you think pretty privilege looks like for men?
I was going to ask a different question, but can I ask
That's
this
a
question?
very good question.
Yeah. We'll come back
and then
to
we'll
that.
do the men one after, So I was going to say, I think pretty privilege has evolved for women. And the reason why I say that is
that's why I
because
said that at the beginning.
when we were younger, right? When, not even when we were younger, just years ago, I don't think it looks like how it looks now. I personally think men have a certain expectation of women that they don't realize they have, because they're like, it's a conditioning, because obviously they're used to seeing women a certain way. So say, for instance, now most men are used to seeing women wear makeup most of the time. So pretty privilege has evolved to like how a woman is presented with makeup. So more time often than not now, say they see a woman casually, just maybe she does a podcast, maybe she's on the internet and she doesn't really wear makeup, she's more likely to be considered less pretty because she doesn't wear makeup. Because men, the people that dictate because it's not even only men, also women actually, the people who dictate how pretty a person is are now more accustomed to seeing women with makeup on. So I think you're more likely than not see that when you go on the internet and you see women that don't wear makeup, not all the time, because I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of the time the expectation is, say for instance, especially you've got a mix of women, so you've got women that wear makeup and women that don't, then the person that doesn't wear makeup, I think will slyly always be considered less desirable, even though I think it's subconscious. I don't think it's intentional or anything, but I think just because now people are more accustomed to seeing women with makeup on.
Do you know why I don't fully agree with that, Ayo? Now, like, obviously I was thinking about it whilst you were talking about it. The reason why I don't fully agree with that, I get where you were coming from, but I don't fully agree with it because I feel like you said, it has changed over the years. A lot of women, and it's never been a thing where women didn't wear makeup.
Of course,
to begin with. Women have always worn makeup even before we existed. Do you know what I mean? So makeup has always been a thing there.
Of course.
And the reason why I say that is because, of course, over the years, the way we wear makeup has evolved. Maybe it's heavier, whatever, you know, to whatever extent the makeup is on our faces. But my point is, I feel like most times a woman that can go on the internet that hasn't really got makeup on, I think the reason why I can say she's probably not more desirable, but she's appreciated more because if you look around you, a lot of women are wearing makeup. So then when you see the ones that don't wear makeup and they look naturally beautiful without it, I think it's how you look without the makeup.
That's what I'm
saying. Your point, I agree with. Yeah, it's different. It's slightly different to my point,
right?
Because I'm not saying that they think that women that don't wear makeup are ugly. I'm just saying, say for instance, you're just looking at women.
Yeah.
Your perception of women is like a lot of people's perceptions of what is pretty in women has changed because they're used to seeing women wearing I think because of the heightened the popularity of social media and a certain type of makeup style and the way people just carry themselves nowadays. That's what is the conditioned way people view women.
Yeah, they're used to seeing a certain type of look.
Yeah, and I'm saying if you don't operate in that look, you're probably more likely than not going to be considered a little bit less desirable.
I get your point. I don't know if I'm mirroring the point that you're trying to make.
People rate girls that don't wear makeup.
No, I don't want to say rape, but I feel like they have a different standard for those kind of girls though. Let's say for example, we have a caliber of women that don't wear makeup. It's how you look without the makeup. They will rate you based on the fact that you're not wearing makeup. Do you know what I mean? It's going to come from the fact that, like you can't not consider that she's not wearing makeup. This is her in the actual natural state. So you can't now compare her to someone that does, like me and you, for example. We can't be compared because I'm wearing makeup and a wig. Like you have more of a natural look, so we can't be given that same
100%. But that's once you've thought about it. I'm saying subconsciously, if you watch a video or if you're going on social media, it's subconscious. It's like that woman is more dolled up. That woman is more pretty versus she.
But then would you not then?
It's almost synonymous with she doesn't make an effort.
Would you not then say would you not then say it? Maybe it depends on, like, let's talk about men. It depends on what they like then, because
it might depend on what they like. But I'm also saying it's very subconscious because even me, like when if I even say me when I look at certain things or I'm on social media, like because you're so used to seeing women with makeup on, when you see a woman that doesn't wear makeup, it is more like, oh, not that she's ugly. It's even more just like, oh, versus, and then it can become, oh, she might be less desirable or this, or she's very pretty. It can be anything, but I'm just saying because people are used to seeing women wearing makeup, the way that women that don't wear makeup are received, especially say for instance they're sat amongst women wearing makeup, it's different now. I think now versus before.
I think that it also depends on your environment as well. Because if your circle is basically a reflection of what's on Twitter, so you're around people that are who like quote unquote look their best, always dolled up, wig laid, all of these things, you're seeing women around you,
you're not the type,
and then you're not really the type to you're not really seeing women who don't wear makeup, then you're more likely to think that way. Whereas if you're someone who you're around women where sometimes they wear makeup, sometimes they're not, or you're around women who don't wear makeup at all, subconsciously that can happen, but you're also more you're also more intentional, whereas your mind won't go there. You won't feel like, oh, it won't be a thing where you have two women next to each other, one has makeup, one doesn't, and you'll think the one who does have makeup on is more desirable. Whereas if the one without makeup, if you think she's naturally beautiful, you'll be more likely to find her more desirable. So that's why I say it depends on your environment and who you have around
what conditions you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I fully hear that.
Because I don't know. That's just my perspective in it. Because even just the way I receive the world, I think it's just subconscious. Like if you're used to, because say for instance the standards of what is considered beautiful change, because they do
all the time.
Like the way we are then conditioned is to then be more accepting of what is now considered the standard of beauty. If that standard of beauty is no longer the standard of beauty, then your mind shifts as well.
No,
that's more what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
no, you're right.
I feel like it just goes back to it.
What you're saying.
Yeah, it just goes back to everyone just being a follower, really. Yeah. And people not necessarily just accepting what they themselves find as attractive. Do you know what I mean? Or their standard of beauty.
Right.
Rather, it's what everyone finds beautiful is what we're all going for. Do you know what I mean?
Also people being too concerned about people being pretty. Because I also think, another aspect of pretty privilege that's a bit, I don't know what's the word. That's a bit way. That's a bit way. Is that now I think beauty and stuff, there's too much emphasis on it. Like I think character has slowly gone down. Like the emphasis on character goes down when you emphasize too much about beauty. Because now it's all about your hair has to be laid, your makeup has to be flawless, you have to look a certain way, and both men and women are quick to judge both women when both of those things are off.
Not even just women, like both genders are.
That's what I'm saying.
Both men and women
are quick
to judge either gender. Like
anybody comes,
for example, with a guy, I've been on TikTok a lot recently, and I've been seeing, for obvious reasons, and I've been seeing like videos of, you know, guys that will post just normal videos of them, and if you look in the comments, it will be, oh, no fresh trim, do you know what I mean? That's like the equivalent to men's, like them not having their hair done, or their beards not trimmed, or, you know, things like that. Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's just
there's too much emphasis.
There's just too much emphasis.
We're very driven by aesthetics.
Yes,
very driven.
How someone looks.
And by the way, it's not as if we're talking to ourselves as well.
Always.
So yeah, no, I agree with that.
Let's answer your question though about men. What was it again?
Yeah, what does pretty privilege look like for men?
I think it's the exact same thing.
Literally the exact same thing.
Their things are not makeup and obviously hair. Yeah, it would be maybe or hair trims and how they dress.
Yeah, how they dress
and their facial features.
Their facial features. Their height. Oh yeah. Unfortunately,
everything. No,
do you know why I say that? Because of course not. I'm not saying their height is like the most important, but it adds to it. Do you know what I mean?
The reason why I asked this, yes, even though it's the exact same on the flip side, do you think they benefit the same way that women do?
1,000,000%.
I think they do. You know.
Listen, a man can just be handsome. 1,000 followers.
You know, girls. Followers. Sorry, I don't mean to use bad language, but girls can be quite bitchy.
No, but do you know why I asked that? The only reason why I asked that.
Girls are mean.
Even though
we come from men. They come for us, but we come from men. Like if a man is not, you don't find a man attractive. Like
the way women benefit from it. As in, like, randomly, men you can be beautiful. Oh, let me give you money. Let me pay for your meal. Let me do this. You walk in. Let me pay for your petrol.
What's the equivalent of that? Let's think of that.
Theirs is more. I think theirs is more ego driven. So they will boost that man up.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not the same then. Obviously, because how a woman reaps from it and how men reaps from it. From ego wise, okay, fair enough. Long term, that can be great for him.
Yeah, I think it's more long term maybe.
But then for a woman, like, artificially and physically,
it's about the benefit.
They benefit.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you know why it's different? Because of the way men and women are received in society.
Yeah,
ego is what men want in society, and that's what it gives them.
And that's my point.
Women want to be looked after.
Yeah,
that's why it's different. So and I don't think one is higher or one's less.
Exactly.
I just think
different.
It expresses itself differently because of how men and women are received in society.
That's literally.
But men experience pretty privilege heavy.
Yeah, no, of course.
Make me myself.
What's an example?
I see a handsome man. Me too. I want to smile.
But if like a man that doesn't have a trim now, and you know his beard's not, and he comes and talks to you, you know how London girls be.
Not me.
They'll be like, a lot of girls. I'm not talking about just you, but do you know what I mean? Some girls be like, why is he talking to me? Like,
you see all the time.
But if he was laying off,
you see all the time.
If he was laying off,
you see all the time. Men benefit from being privileged the same way women do.
Yeah,
it's just different. Like the standards are different.
Yeah.
Because women are quick to say if a man is talking on the internet and he's not what you consider desirable, they will
they'll butcher.
They'll drag you by your singlets.
They'll butcher you.
You know that
he's not even good looking anyway.
Yeah.
You hear?
Oh look at his pepper grains.
You will hear.
They're quick.
You will not.
Facts.
Oh, he can't dress.
It would not be missed, is what we're saying.
Oh, look at him, shorty, brokey.
Oh, brokey's the most.
Not shorty, brokey.
No, but brokey. You know, women are so quick. They were so quick to call out a man's pockets.
Oh, very quickly. The same way that men do it to women, women do it to men.
It's true.
Equally.
I'm sorry. That one.
Equally.
Oh, for sure.
Anyone that doesn't agree is lying. Or maybe the people you're around is not showing you. But we're telling. We've been around that. We know it's equal.
It's happening.
It happens.
I see it all the time.
For real.
Pretty privilege is a thing. Do you know what I mean?
And it's real.
And that's why the emphasis is very high on physical aspect because of the privilege that it comes with. Let's be honest, because at the end of the day, someone's character is very important, but it's not the first thing you see about them.
Exactly. You can't.
Whether you want to know about someone's character or not, unfortunately, it depends on how they look.
Wow.
Let's be very honest. Not everybody, but this is the psychology behind it, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? You have to, we're not saying universally, but if you find them attractive, you're more inclined to want to know more about them.
100%.
So that's why, to answer that question, that's why a lot of people invest on the physical aspect. That's why it's such a big thing in our society. And that's why, exactly. Everyone wants to look good. Let's not pretend that's a lie. That's like fake news, or
how far you're willing to go.
But how far are you willing to go to?
That varies person to person.
Do you feel like being driven by whether a person is attractive as to whether you want to get to know them is a bad thing?
Say that again, sorry.
Do you think that being driven by you, essentially, do you think using attraction as the reason as to why you want to give somebody the opportunity to talk to you is a good thing?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'll tell you why I say yes. I say yes. Oh, you talking about romantically, by the way?
Well, it can be either.
Can I talk romantically quickly? Yeah. The reason why I say yes, romantic, friendship-wise, you're not really doing anything for me looks-wise. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's fine. I'm friends with anyone that's like that we can get along. It's more about the personality. But romantically, the reason why I say yes is because you can't really. You have to find. I don't believe in growing attraction, like getting to physically find someone attractive. I don't believe in growing that emotion or whatever you want to call it. I believe it has to be there naturally. Like growing it is just a stretch for me personally. It doesn't need to happen. So that's why I feel like that attraction has to be there initially. Do you know what I mean? And on the flip side as well, I feel like we do need to cut out of that habit of doing that, because at the end of the day, you don't know what you're missing out on.
So many people.
Do you know what I mean? So many amazing people are out there, but because they don't look like your actual type.
And this is not to say that they're ugly.
No, yeah, but they're just not your type.
You're not attracted to them initially.
Do you know what I mean? They could be good looking to other people, but if you just don't find them physically attractive, you're likely to shut that door. You don't know what's to come with it. Do you know what I mean? You could just miss out on something good. But like I said, on the flip side, you do have to find the person you're talking to attractive. I don't believe in being in a relationship or getting to know someone if you don't find them attractive. I don't believe in that, full stop. It's not me. Like, I'll be honest, I believe it's so much to the point where if I see someone doing it, I will absolutely tell you that it's wrong. You're lying to yourself.
You're dragging me.
You have to find them somewhat attractive, unfortunately. Like, if you're sitting out there and you genuinely believe you can get to know someone, and you know you don't need to be attracted to the person you're talking to, it's a damn lie. I'm so sorry to tell you, you're lying to yourself, but it will catch up to you. You'll see.
Right, I've heard you, babe.
I can't lie. At first, my answer was going to be no, because I don't think it should be the deciding factor.
What as in, like, going to be no, as in
like, if you see someone and then you're not all the way attracted to them, and then you're like, okay, no, I'm not going to get to know them. I don't think that should be the deciding factor. Yeah. However, the more I'm thinking about my answer, I cannot lie.
You're talking romantically.
Yeah, romantically. Obviously, friendship wise, the same answer. That if you're someone where you're only friends with someone because
of how they look, you've got a problem.
Your circle to look a certain way, you need to go back to the drawing board because you have this life very wrong. Romantically, my answer now is yes and no.
Okay.
Because listen, as much as I want to be that person that's like, do you know what? If I see someone and I'm not attracted to them and I want to give them a chance, to be fair, I've been there. I have. I'll be very honest. But as Temi says, it catches up to you.
It honestly does catch up to you. Let's be very frank.
And you do not only do a disservice to yourself, but you do a disservice to the other person.
It's not,
because instead of, putting your energy into loving them and caring for them, it's always in the back of your mind that I'm not really attracted to you. Something's a bit off here, and you're struggling, you're fighting about spiritually, physically, emotionally, you're fighting. And you should be loving.
Oh,
I find it very disrespectful. Sorry.
It is. That's why I said you do a disservice to the other person.
Right.
So my answer is yes and no.
Yeah.
No, I've said my answer. I explained why. Sorry, and yes, because like Temi summed it up. And I don't think it's shallow. I don't think it's wrong to want to be attracted to the person that you're with.
To know, yeah.
Because I think that's a God-given thing that he's instilled within us, to be attracted to other people that he's put on this world.
Yeah. That's why beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you don't find someone attractive, there will be somebody else out there that will find them attractive at the end of the day. But all I'm saying is you do have to find the person you're talking to one-on-one. There has to be that attraction there. There has to be something that draws you to them physically. Absolutely.
To conclude, I'll answer as well. I'm yes and no as well. I have slightly different thoughts. Not because I think you should force yourself to be attracted to people. I don't think you should ever force yourself to be attracted to them. I do think attraction can grow though. So I don't think they're the same thing. Forcing yourself to be attracted.
You think attraction can grow?
100%.
Actually, yeah,
I've seen it happen.
That's the point I was trying to make. I'm sorry, just to quickly say it. Attraction can grow. I've not disputed that, just to make it clear, but I'm just saying you don't need to put yourself in a situation where you should force yourself so it grows.
Exactly. Forcing yourself in the name of let me just let anybody that is not no. No, but I do believe attraction can grow, and I think sometimes people let aesthetics be too much of a deciding factor. Some of you are just in relationships because it's aesthetically pleasing and both of you look beautiful on your TikTok and it's doing well.
If it's a paid
It's
partnership, that's
goals.
different.
But like, do you know what I'm saying? That can't be your life partner, your life decisions. Regarding the friendship one, I'm seeing that become a very prevalent thing though nowadays. Like people want to have pretty friendship groups. Like
Really?
obviously we don't think like that. And I
People think
agree
like
with you.
that.
I don't look at I don't go about, I need to have friends that are pretty. That's very wild to me. But there's people that definitely do that nowadays.
All my friends are just pretty. I didn't plan it. It
Yeah.
just happened.
That it just, you know, it is what
That's
it is.
it.
I didn't choose. It just came
But,
to
you
me.
know, in the lavish now, but like nowadays, especially in the rise of obviously social media, we always speak about that. But like, it's about being aesthetically pleasing. You want to take that group photo and you want everybody to be looking mwah.
Oh, that's not gonna really last
It's
because
very
where's the
shallow,
substance
very,
in the
very shallow.
friendship? You know,
But romantically, I do think you should be very much so attracted to the person. Please, in the name of Jesus, please
Don't suffer.
don't do the whole
it's gonna grow. What? Because I was right. It could grow, but
It
what
can.
if it doesn't? Then
Exactly.
what?
Like, I'm saying obviously be true to yourself.
Be true
The
to
reason
yourself.
God gave you that, as Ashley said, that feeling of being attracted to people, so that you can use it for glorious things. It's not for you to use it for wicked things and for lustful things,
And for
obviously.
forceful things.
Do you know what I'm saying? But like, do you know what I'm saying? Don't be doing force. That one is not, it's not
You're
healthy.
suffering.
It's not healthy.
There's
But
many of you
also-
watching this, you're suffering.
But also, some of you give the wrong people chance because they're good looking as well.
That's it.
So find a
Right.
balance.
Oh my
That's why I said it
God.
can't be a
Oh
deciding
my
factor.
God.
Because if you remember in another video that we spoke about, we touched on this, is that some of you're attracted to what you're attracted to because that's what your friends are attracted to, or because that's what social media said that's what you should be attracted to.
Facts.
You don't actually, you don't have a type, you don't have a preference.
Just be going left,
You're
right,
just
and
you're just
centre.
going with
the
it because
wind.
wow, it looks aesthetically pleasing. We can do couple goals, we can get endorsements, brand deals, all of these things. When
Facts,
really and truly, that's not actually what you like.
Ayo, sorry, say that last bit that you just said again.
What did I say?
The one about you're giving people a chance.
A lot of people, you lot are giving people chance just because
They're attractive.
not
Wow.
because they have good character, not
Yeah.
because they're actually somebody worthy of you giving a chance, but just because when you look at them, you think, oh yeah,
So a lot of people, just literally what you're saying, a lot of people are so driven by looks
100%.
that's literally the deciding factor, and
it.
you're likely to let things slide because they're attractive.
100
That's
where,
crazy.
and that's where pretty privilege has its problems, because
Yeah.
a lot of women, unfortunately, actually a lot of men, will be in relationships with women and you hear the term trophy wife, or you hear the term she's just beautiful. That's it. There's nothing else about her. There's no substance to that relationship. You don't really.
and unfortunately, some people are okay with
And
that.
that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. Pretty privilege makes people okay with that, because you're so happy with the fact that your aesthetic is a commodity. You're happy that you can sell it. You're happy that you can benefit from it, to the point that you don't care if you have healthy relationships in your life. That in itself is very bad.
It's a problem.
It's
It's
very
dangerous.
bad. It's
That's where it
dangerous.
becomes dangerous. For
So I feel
sure.
like that's something to just think about.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments
Yes,
down
we'd
below.
love
Let us
to
know
know.
what you think, whether you agree or disagree, and whether you think you've ever benefited from pretty privilege as well.
and just examples if you have
yeah,
them.
honestly.
Oh, I'm so
we're
interested to
open,
hear.
yeah.
Always.
So I feel like the way everyone benefits from it is very different.
Very much so, yeah.
Very different. Because the stories I've heard, can't relate.
People getting flued out.
Listen.
Flued
Not
it.
flued up.
They are facts getting flued it.
Yeah, baby.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter and TikTok, SDWTS podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Some of you are watching, you're still not subscribed. What's going on? What's going on?
And just a
You
word,
found yourself here from TikTok and you still haven't subscribed. What's going
and
on?
just
Come
a
on.
word of
you
warning.
love us at this point.
A word of warning to the trolls. If you ever come across any content from us and something wicked in you is prompting you to say something in the comments, choose wisdom and choose peace, because my heavenly Father is a God of justice.
That's it.
And he's a God of judgment. Hallelujah.
Vengeance
Amen.
belongs to the Lord.
What a way to end it. We'll see you on our next episode, guys. Bye.
Bye.